Let me know what you see. Okay, I am live again. Let's see if this works better. Wendy, can you find it? Let's see.
I should just look for you on your channel?
Yeah, look for me on the channel. And I could see if I can get a share. Here's the share link. And then you could share it in the old one. Can I give you the link? I'll send it over to you.
Yes.
Ready? Okay.
Are you still on here?
Okay, let me send this to you so you have it, and then you can hopefully put it in the old one. I can hear myself. Okay, here it is. You guys, hopefully you guys are finding, and hopefully this one is working better. There we go. So, okay, awesome. Awesome. Okay, it looks like it's working, you guys. Yay! If there's anybody that you know that missed it, here is the link to this one in case anybody's trying to find it. Fantastic. Thank you guys for being resilient. It is totally Mercury, you guys. Oh my gosh. But we just go with the flow. I'm actually right in the middle. My son is home visiting right now, and he's helping me. He's figured out this crazy clever way of I can buy 2 streaming services because we live out in the boondocks with like the cows and the internet here is just not awesome. So we're gonna do 2 and stitch them together, which I would never be able to do, but yay, he knows how. So, anyways, hopefully it will be better coming up soon. But I'm so thrilled this is working, and it is so funny that we were talking about ice cream when it froze. I love that. So, okay, so taking off from there, that the biggest thing I wanted to share, and really kind of the method to my madness, is just that it's been a learning, that there hasn't been a rule book, that it's been a process of me kind of bumbling through and figuring it out as I go. But it has been the journey that I have found, the thing that has been the most motivating to me, that I saw from the very beginning when I started my healing process. And I had a lot of help along the way, lots of different people that I've been to, other healers. Like, no healer is an island. We are all meant to, every healer has a healer. We're all meant to have help. That the biggest thing that motivated me was that it may have taken me 15 years to be able to eat ice cream, but there was a lot of other things along the way. There was every little thing I created more freedom in my life, created less friction in my life. And I would say now, the most remarkable thing I would say is the biggest joy about having gone through this process, that I'm still on. I'm still working on myself, you guys. Always. There's always stuff. There's always stuff, because otherwise we would be one with source. If we were perfect, we would be up there with source. So as long as I'm still here, I got stuff to do, and I have more that I can learn about myself. But the difference is, so I still am in my life. Like, I still have the same family, I still have the same kids, same parents, but I am different in my trigger me anymore. Like, I am somebody that I think I would have been really hurt. So younger me, 15 years ago me, would have been really hurt and scared to go on YouTube and to go live and to put stuff out there, and to, what if people say mean things? And I think that I would have been really scared about that. And these days, nah. like, not that I want people to say mean things about me, but I know that if they do, it's coming from their own wounding. And I recognize that there's something about them that's aching, and that's where it's coming from. And I'm compassionate towards them. And I understand that nowadays it feels like if somebody makes a nasty comment, it's a little bit like them, like blaming me or telling me, telling me, hey, you're way too tall, which is, no one's ever going to say that about me. I'm really short. And so it's just like, if somebody called me or criticized me for being too tall, I would just be like, well, that's funny. That's a funny thing to say. It doesn't land. I don't believe that about myself. So it wouldn't stick anywhere. It's like someone throwing a sticky ball and you have no Velcro on. There's just nothing for it, just falls off. It's like, oh, there it goes. Things only hurt if we believe them. If it lands, if they say something that somewhere deep down we worry that it's true, then it hurts. And those hurts come from our woundings, right? Some place inside of us that we fear, that maybe we fear that we're not going to be liked, or that we're going to be left out, or that we're not worthy, that we're not enough. The ones we all share, you guys, it's like we all have that. On some level, it looks different for each of us, but on some level, we all have some version of that. And boy, I did too. And I still do in layers. Like, I still find it in there sometimes. They'll be like, oh, there's one. But these days, it's like a treasure hunt. It used to be before, it'd be like walking through the jungle with all the wounds and be like, I could barely get through with all my junk I had to get through. These days, when I find a wound, it's like I celebrate because then I know, that's what's next. I can clear that. And then I know I'll feel better. When something hurts, I'm like, yeah, okay, there we go. That is a wound I can work on. And the only thing in our way is ourselves. That is the only, you are infinite. We hear that all the time. We are infinite creative beings, but so true. And the only thing holding us back is there's something inside of us. But here's the thing. I would never want you to take that in as blame, as self-blame. Like some of us are dealing with hard stuff. Like I saw someone comment about congestive heart failure. There is no fun about that. Nothing fun about that. And so I wouldn't want, when I say, hey, we're infinite creators, I wouldn't never want somebody to take that in and be like, wow, you mean I created this? Like, that's not the point. Like when we have wounds, the wounds are real. Like that wound came from a real life experience that was devastatingly painful. And where the challenge is that here's the weirdest thing about healing is that crummy stuff happens in our life and we come in here as divine beings and we come in and most of you are highly spiritual people, right? That's why you're attracted to this. You're highly spiritual old souls coming to this world. And you come in and you expect everyone to be nice like you. And then something horrible happens to you, right? And someone's mean to you or someone's worse. And so the first thing that happens is we can't believe it. We can't believe that it's true. We sit there and it's like in our mind, we just go like, how? Like, how did that happen to me? What does it mean about me that that happened to me? Because we don't come from a place where that's normal, right? We all come from the good place and crummy stuff happens. And we're so shocked that it's like we can't believe it. And that is the first biggest step we have to get over in healing. And that is why it's so hard for us to heal ourselves, is that the first thing we do is we deny our wounds, is that we will say, my childhood was good. It was all fine. Like, yeah, it was tough, but I got over it. It made me stronger or whatever. And I was like the queen of denial. If there was a river denial, I was like the queen of it. I was the queen of denial. And I could deny myself into a very happy, blissful, sleepy state. And it took me a really long time to be able to even feel my first lessons were, how the heck do I even feel my emotions? I couldn't even feel them. I had to learn how to feel my feelings because I couldn't. I was so detached. I couldn't feel them. And that was all my process of trying to avoid the difficulties in my life, right? Of stepping out of things would get hard. I would step right out of my body. And people be like, wow, you're so cool headed in a crisis. Like nothing ever flusters you. It's because I was not in my body. I was like somewhere else, like not feeling is what I would do. And, like that's a thing. It's that whole fight or flight. Some of us, when stuff happens, we immediately turn to anger because anger is a whole lot better than shame, guilt, grief. Then the other rest of us, we're like out of there. We're like out of the body, not feeling it, not experiencing it. So yeah, so it has been a really long journey for me, but every step along the way has made a difference. Every step along the way, the initial steps, the first moments that I was finally willing to come on YouTube and then, oh my word, share channeled messages about the flash of light and the earth rift and you know what I mean? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Like I couldn't have. I could never imagine myself doing that. Like I was scared, like you would not believe, you guys, to come out with that stuff. When the angels first came through and said, you have to share these messages, it will save lives. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Yeah, I sat on for like 4 months. And the only people I told were like my close, like super close secret friends. I was like, cone of silence. This is what they said, and yeah, I sat on it for months. And then I finally decided to share it because what I finally realized is that this was not new news. That deep down, we all knew about this stuff before we were born. We all knew about it. And all I was doing was reminding people. And that somewhere in there, we all have a level of anxiety about this stuff. And by sharing the information, I might actually be able to make people feel better because I can help to address that sort of vague anxiety about like, why do I worry? Why am I feeling this way? Well, okay, this might be it. And hey, it's leading us to something better. So that is why that's what got me over the hump to do it. But But you can see in my own progress in my own life, and I'm very public about my healing journey, very, very public. I share all the time about this process that I've been going through of healing, and where it's gotten me today. So it wasn't that long ago. It was like a year and a half ago that the angels came through and said that they were ready to bring through a new healing program, which is called Soul Convergence. And so this is what I've been doing for the last year and a half, has been guiding people through a program called Soul Convergence. And it is designed specifically for this time that we're in, for the time of this huge shift in consciousness. And it is all about balancing our masculine and feminine energies. And that sounds easier than it is. That most of the work that's done in soul convergence is addressing issues that happened, usually even before we were born, that start in the womb, particularly on the feminine side. Like a big chunk of the early healing sessions are about the womb, which is like mind blowing. I cannot tell you how much wounding I had from the womb. I cannot tell you how huge that was for me. And I know I'm not the only one, that it is for many, many people, that what happened in the womb, we are like massive, like brains of awareness when we're in the womb. And it's almost like we're living just outside the body of the mom's body. And we're aware of how our parents feel. We take it all, everything my dad said to my mom when I was in the womb, I took on as personal about me. Everything. I took it all as like that it was said to me. And that I know is just common. I know it's common. And my parents were going through a really hard time at the time. They were not a good fit. They were not soulmates, to put it mildly. And so anyways, but I personalized all of that. And then I had to go through and release, and and shift and believe and release. And it's really not even, we hear so much about releasing energy. And I wish I could kind of switch that and say, okay, we're releasing the heaviness of it, but what we're doing is accepting. We are in resistance to the things that hurt us, which makes sense, right? If you have something that's chasing after you, something that's painful, our first instinct is to push it away. And we have to do the opposite. We have to do the thing that sounds the scariest, which is to turn around and embrace it and recognize that that thing that's hurting, it's actually us from a previous time in our life. And we have to embrace that part of us and bring it home and love it the way that we needed to be loved in that moment, the way that we wish we could have been loved in that moment. And then so the healing process is a series of loving and loving and loving and loving yourself. And then a big part of it is finding what are the things that need to be loved. And so we love ourselves back into balance. We bring everything back in. And so it's really, if we say that our bodies are a metaphor for the universe. It's like everything is fractal, like those little Russian dolls. We're a little one inside of a bigger one, inside of a bigger one. We are the little one in the center is our body. And the one on the outside is the universe. What's true for us in our body is true universe. And so if you think about the universe as like the Big Bang, like how did the universe start? It's this whoosh, like everything moves out. And this is us as we become separated from ourselves. And we separate ourselves into all these different wounds and different lives and different. And we're just scattered across time, space, and dimension. And then the journey as we're moving back towards this shift in consciousness is at the end, the contraction. It's like the breath, exhale, or when you inhale, you expand as big as you can, just like the universe. And then, and I don't want to think about this when the universe contracts, but someday it may. But we, as a human, we inhale, when we exhale, and everything comes back in. And that is the place where we get to that center point of truth, of balance, connection back to source, back to ourselves. And so this is the journey. This is the work we do in Soul Convergence. And so it's for Soul Convergence. It doesn't matter if you've never done a single healing program in your life. It doesn't matter if you have done 30. That if there is more work to do, which there is for all of us, because we're here, then what will happen in Soul Convergence, it's a process, it's a self-guided process with help. So it's a process where so the self-pacing part is really important because different people experience different things, but you go through a process of, and it's deep, it's intensive because we're working with really those deepest parts of yourself. It helps you to access things that are incredibly hard for us to find otherwise. But it starts out, we start out working from the masculine perspective, divine masculine energy. And we start working on, from the masculine perspective, working on masculine energy. And then we go through a series of sessions, and then we work on divine feminine energy from the masculine perspective. Then we shift and we start looking at it from the feminine perspective. We heal divine masculine from the feminine perspective, and then we heal divine feminine from the feminine perspective. And that process brings up and integrates so much that watching this process happen for people has been mind boggling for me. And so I'm sure there are people here in our group today who have been through soul conversions. And I will tell you the kind of stuff that happens. That for some people, they come through it. And the biggest thing we hear is that people feel more peace, that their lives feel more peace. But there's multiple people who've had hearing restored. There's multiple people who've had aches and pains and illness and lots of stuff resolved. It all depends at the end of the day. And this is the part that I want to say most importantly is at the end of the day, we heal ourselves, is that we need help, but we are the ones that heal ourselves. It's the process because we are the ones that release our resistance and open our hearts to those parts of ourselves that have been too scary to love before. And so it is what is the next most important thing that you are ready to integrate, that you are ready to love again. And then this process helps you do it, but it'll guide you into where those great woundings are. So the program is designed with a ton of support. I tried as much as I could to model it on my own healing journey. So there is, for everybody in the program, there is a soul convergence guide. And they use a multitude of tools because it takes a bunch. But one of the key ones is we love to work with your dreams. So if you are a dreamer, then we will work with your dreams and show you. The coolest thing about it is your dreams will show you your progress. Is you will see in your dreams, it'll show you here's the particular wound you're working on. And then your next dream will show you that you have shifted that issue. And you will see in the way that it'll show up, this is what's super cool. It'll show the progression where you'll start out, like say, for example, you in the beginning, if you've got issues around, and we all do have issues on both sides, you may feel like you're way more expressed on the masculine or the feminine. Like, for example, I used to think that I was way more developed on my masculine energy and way underdeveloped on my feminine energy. But the way it actually works, imagine that on the feminine and on the masculine, imagine that there are like 10 qualities on each. So I would have been really well developed on like 3 of the 10. And then the other 7 would have been like actually my biggest wounds. And then on the feminine, same thing, is I may be really good at like 4 of the feminine characteristics, but then the others, and 10 out of a hat. That's not actually 10, but then on the other ones, I would have had wounding. So even if you feel like you are stronger on the masculine or stronger on the feminine, there's still issues there to be healed. So anyways, what you will see. So let's say, for example, that you had a wound on the masculine, that you were fearful of male aggression. So you might have in your dreams, like men chasing you or shooting at you. And this is like actually a really, really common symbol. And there's just as many common symbols for feminine wounds, by the way. This is in no way to say like there's neither one is better. Like both feminine and masculine energy have a positive and a negative expression. And there's plenty of both in the world. So this to say that one is better than the other, but I'm just using this as an example. So the example being, let's say that you have a fear of this kind of aggression and you'll have men chasing you with guns in your dream. And then as you go through the process of healing, that symbol will become softer and softer and softer. So it might be that they go from chasing you with guns to being just vaguely threatening, to being like somewhat shifty, to being like, maybe they're kind of nice, to being like, oh, this guy's actually my friend, to then like, no joke, you're having sex with them. Like that's the best of all for so many reasons. But honestly, in a dream, you will have sex with, like, you may have had those dreams where you're having sex with someone that you normally would not have sex with. And that doesn't mean anything. It's not actually sex. It is actually the integration, the melding, the blending is what they're trying to show. They're trying to show that you have accepted and loved yourself into wholeness, right? That you've loved your masculine back to life or loved your feminine back to life. So sometimes it's walking down the aisle together to get married or whatever it is, these symbols. But it's amazing to see when it happens. So that's kind of how the progression was. So we work with your dreams. We work with other ways of accessing the subconscious with your soul convergence guides. They've a multitude. Many of them can channel. So there's a whole bunch of layers to the work that we do. But the biggest thing is that, like I said, is to try to give you the support that you need for the healing journey. And then we also do multiple live sessions with me and the angels during the process, where we come in and it just helps to kind of give you the boost that you need in that moment. So all through the process. So you have the recordings which see you through. And that is the part that and that way you can self-time it, because some of them you'll be like, I need an extra day on this. And it is a time commitment because you're working Each recording, you're trying to do it. If you can do it every day, more is more. Every time you work with the recordings, you are opening a portal between you and the angels, and you will feel them. You will physically feel them. And they come in and they help you. And you will start, see, your whole life will start to collaborate. And this is true whenever you truly engage in your healing process. Your guides and the world begin to conspire to help you. They come together to help you. And helping you means showing up with, like, hey, here's the thing you got to heal. And so we take that information and we bring it into our sessions and we work through the feelings and we heal. And so it's this incredible process. So, and we do see some amazing things happen. Like people they'll be working through issues and they will heal an issue. And then all of a sudden their relationships will evolve. So we've had many, many people in the program who've had estranged relationships where they go through the program or they're in the middle of the program. And then all of a sudden their long lost, their estranged father or estranged child shows up at the door, all of a sudden ready to mend the relationship because they have shifted their end of that conversation. And so now the other person is showing up differently. And not to say that's going to happen for everyone. There's no promises because, like I said, we heal ourselves. It's all what is your healing, what your healing journey is going to be based on what is appropriate for where you want to take your life right now and what you are ready to release, what you are ready to open to, what you're ready to love. And so, so some people, they go through the program one time. Once you've done it, the recordings are yours to use forever. So some people will use it more than once and then go through it again because they'll feel like, wow, there was more there. There was more I can excavate. So they are yours to use forever. But some people will go through it, and in the one, they feel like that things have shifted substantially enough that they feel like they're good to go. So so that's what the program is all about. And yeah, it is an amazing thing. So I will tell you guys, my son did it, which was just incredible. Like, as a parent who is a healer, and I know many of you are healers, and normally I have my kids go to other people for healing because I think it's kind of